This short video is just going to show an example of how to take an array and shuffle the order of that array using Java's built-in random class. So I'll begin by creating a Java main class. I'll call it test shuffle. And again, the purpose of this is to just illustrate one way, not the only way, of taking an array and mixing up the contents in that same array. All right, so for this particular example, I'm just going to use an array of ints. And I'll call it data. And I think maybe 10 elements will be sufficient. You recall that at this point, when data has been instantiated, the default values of an int are its contents. So at this point, there are 10 zeros in the data array. And the index, of course, is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That off by one business, which you probably heard me complain about. I will continue to complain about it because it really is not a very wonderful thing, because it tends to create errors. But that's another story. Okay, so let's initialize that just to show the different values, and let's Now notice that whenever you're looping over an array, index by index, it's important to always have the upper limit be the length of the array. The reason for that is that you're never going to get an array index out of bounds exception if you do this. Something that other languages that don't have something like the length variable for arrays will do is you may have to create another variable, which is how many are in the array. And what happens with that, it's almost inevitable that the number that says how many are in the array and the number that are actually in the array become different, and then you have problems. Okay, so let's just set each of these equal to I, and again, just to make sure that we've actually done that, let's just print that out. And again, how do we print that out? Well, I'm going to show you, since I'll be talking about this in class soon. I'm going to use if I don't care about the index. So in this case, I just want to print them out. I can use, this is the for each construct. In other words, instead of having to go through instead of writing all this, I can just say for each element in the data array, just print it out. Okay, so before the shuffle, what I'm expecting this to do is print out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hopefully that's what it is, and that is indeed what it is. So before the shuffle. Now it's time to shuffle. So we will shuffle by instantiating an instance of a class called random. Now, when you're coding and you type something that's purports to be the name of a class, and you get the red squiggly, and it says it can't find the symbol, really the first thing to try is to just try to import it. So if you just right-click anywhere in the edit, select Fix Imports, and then what it does is, in this case, it went out, it found the random class in a package called java.util, and now the red squiggly is gone. Okay, so now I'm instantiating, the random class, and again, Java is very persnickety. It wants me to spell new correctly without the E. Okay, so now what this does is every time you execute this, you're going to get a different sequence, and when we generate it from it, we're going to get some stuff. So here's the idea. The idea is that we are going to iterate through the data, and now we need to have this construct here, because for each index we're going to generate a random other index, and then we're going to swap the one at that index with the one that we've randomly generated. Okay, so that may sound confusing, but let's see what that looks like. So again, okay, so there's our for loop, and this is going to step through each index, going from 0 to 9. And so inside this, we're going to generate a random index, and the method is called nextInt, and we want to give it an upper bound, and the upper bound is simply going to be the length of the data array. And what this will do is this will generate a number, an integer between 0 and 1 minus the data length. That's what this does. In fact, if we kind of look at what it does, we can actually see pseudo-random uniformly distributed between 0 inclusive and the specified value exclusive, meaning it's going to be between 0, in this case 0 and 9. Right, that's our random one, and now we want to, here I'll comment as we go. So generate random index from 0 to data length minus 1. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And now we want to swap. So that is, we swap the value in the ith place with the random index place. Now this is something you hopefully have encountered in your previous language, but if not, then the way to swap two values like this is we need to create a temporary one. Let's create a temporary one, which will be the element at the index that we're in the loop. And now we can set the value. See, we save the value into a temporary variable. We now set this into the value at the randomly generated index, and now we need to put it back. Okay, so this is how we swap. And again, now we can just sort of print it out and see what happens after the shuffle. And again, I'll just kind of do it this way. If you're skeptical about this, we can do it with the index way. Okay, so now we're just after the shuffle, after we've done all this, we're going to print it again. So what we'll see is before the shuffle, it's 0 through 9. After the shuffle, it'll be mixed up. What are they going to be? I don't know. Okay, after what happened? Oh, okay, so that's why you test it out. I made a mistake on this. I should have set the random index data to the temporary one. Okay, so now it should work there. Okay, what does work mean? Working means that now these are going to be in a different order. And if I run it again, they'll be in yet another order. So this is a way to take an array of things and shuffle them up.